As of May 2026, the MV Hantavirus cruise ship sits quarantined and anchored off the coast of Africa. International health agencies like the WHO are currently tracking a cluster of 7 cases on board. So far, tragically, 3 passengers have died. The pathogen responsible for these deaths is hantavirus. This detail isolates the outbreak from nearly every other recorded case. Hantavirus is typically an environmental pathogen found in dusty rural cabins, abandoned barns, or old storage sheds. You do not expect to find it circulating among passengers on a luxury cruise ship. Most strains of hantavirus do not spread from person to person. Under normal circumstances, you cannot catch it from someone coughing on you in a crowded room. To understand why this specific outbreak is happening on the Hantavirus, we have to look past the frightening headlines and examine the quiet, basic biology of the virus itself. The primary biological reservoir for hantavirus is wild rodents. In the United States, the most common carrier is the North American deer mouse. The virus lives inside these mice completely harmlessly, though they constantly shed the pathogen into the environment through their urine, droppings, and saliva. A human infection requires a specific environmental trigger. A person must enter a closed space where rodents have lived and disturb the dried-out waste. Biologists call this aerosolization. When you sweep a floor or move an old box, you break up dried waste and kick microscopic viral particles into the air. Inhaling this contaminated dust is how the vast majority of human hantavirus infections begin. Human infection is a biological accident, an environmental collision rather than a contagious pathogen actively hunting for human hosts. Once the virus enters the body, the illness is determined by geography. In the Americas, Hantavirus Pulmonary Syndrome attacks the respiratory system, causing the lungs to fill with fluid. Across Europe and Asia, hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome targets the kidneys, leading to internal bleeding. Regardless of the strain, symptoms start with an initial phase of intense muscle aches and fever. Within a few days, this progresses to severe shortness of breath or a dangerous drop in blood pressure. Survivors face a long recovery process. Longitudinal studies show chronic fatigue, reduced lung capacity, and elevated protein in urine for up to 5 years. The virus requires a highly specific environment to reach us, but the severe, multi-year impact on the human body makes any exposure a major medical event. To understand the current quarantine on the MV Hantavirus, we have to look at where the ship began its voyage. On March 20th, the Hantavirus departed from Ushuaia, Argentina, at the southern tip of South America. That departure point exposed the passengers to a very specific regional pathogen. They sailed into the territory of the Andes virus strain. Out of the dozens of hantaviruses identified globally, the Andes strain is the only one documented to spread from human to human through close contact. The Hantavirus outbreak represents a highly specific biological exception, behaving exactly as scientists expect. Because there is no FDA-approved vaccine for hantavirus, safety depends on physical prevention rather than medication. While the medical symptoms are severe, the necessary precautions are low-tech and accessible. Prevention centers on one specific action: never sweep or vacuum dried rodent droppings. Instead, gently soak the area with a 10% bleach solution. Wait 5 minutes to ensure the virus is killed, and then wipe the area clean using gloves and paper towels. Viewed as a preventable environmental hazard rather than a random contagion, the virus becomes manageable. Maintaining a rodent-free environment and using wet cleaning methods effectively